This is Sean Murphy, Oakland A's catcher. How's it going?
Morning.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Are you excited for your big trip? I think tomorrow is it? Is that going to be a little different or?
Yeah, that's a cool trip for the team.
Yeah.
I think everybody's looking forward to that.
It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment getting up in the morning, I think.
No, I personally am not making the trip.
Oh, you're not making the trip. I got you.
I'm
Okay.
not going.
Gotcha. Well, then that's. I mean, on one hand, I think that's. On one hand, I could see. I don't want to go to Japan. On the other hand, that's going to be a brutal adjustment, though. So you get to work on stuff and get ready for the season.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go over to camp and get some more ABs and get prepared for the season.
Gotcha. How are you looking at this season? Let me ask you personally. Grade yourself and grade what did you work on in the off season? How excited are you for the upcoming year?
Going to the off season, I just wanted to, get my body right, get physically better, and retool my swing a little bit. And I've been working here with Bushy, and I think we're feeling pretty good at the plate right now. Marcus has me feeling pretty good behind the plate, and I've had a good chance to work with a lot of pitchers this spring. I've caught a good amount of innings, and I think all parts of the ball right now I'm feeling pretty good.
When you say you retool your swing, what are some of the ways you go about adjusting that? Like, do you watch film and say you want to work on this and then break it down to like small parts, or what? When you say you retool your swing, what do you mean?
Exactly. There's certain movements that you'll make in your swing that you don't like, the bad habits, and so you go down and you put a microscope on those movements and you try and iron out those bad habits. And so you do, maybe specific drills for a certain movement in your swing and try and get rid of that bad stuff.
I always wonder for young catchers coming up, when you're, let's say, an outfielder, for example, you come up, you're worrying about your hitting and your fielding. With the catcher, it's so important to have that kind of symbiotic relationship with the pitching staff. A lot of guys that don't know you or maybe you don't know too well, veterans, for example. Is it much of a challenge, and do you get a lot of advice as far as creating that level of trust, that relationship with the pitchers, or does that just come kind of naturally?
Yeah, it's the biggest part of our job. So you feel responsibility to your pitcher when he's out there because it's your ERA also, and if he does well, you do well, and it's kind of a give and take. So you feel a responsibility to do your job for him.
Sure.
And so it means doing your homework, and then if you go out there unprepared and your pitcher gets hit around, you feel bad,
Yeah.
and that's your fault. And when he does well, you also get some credit, but when he does bad, it's on you too.
And I think that's got to be a different type of pressure you have to learn. And I think that's also a great attitude for a catcher too. Maybe some catchers, I don't know, go out and go, okay, well, that's on him. But I think that's incredibly interesting what you say. If your pitcher gets knocked around out there, you feel that responsibility on your shoulders. And if he goes out and goes 5-hit shutout, it's not going to be Murphy through the shutout.
Exactly, but
right.
In your own
But you
mind
feel
that
it.
you were a part of that. You participated.
Sure, exactly. We were just talking about Williams about the and it seems like it's a yearly thing here. Now, obviously, we're not going to come down here and say, the chemistry in your clubhouse is terrible. How can you guys? But it really is palpable almost every single year, and really this year going in, you can hear players and coaches talking about the chemistry. Matt was saying it's a party after every single win. The A's aren't the cute little surprise this year. Now there's going to be some targets on your back.
Yeah, and that's one of the special things about the team. I think most of the guys have come up through the A's organization playing together, and they get along well. And nobody here is too big of an ego, and other players are coming from outside organizations say what the chemistry here is great. The guys here are great. This is unlike another team I've been on. I have no perspective on that because I've only always been with the A's.
Sure.
But the way I feel about this team is that their family and these guys accepted me from day one.
So is that something you feel not only when you're in training camp, but then or in spring training, but when you're down in Nashville, is that something you feel down there as well, or is it just kind of everybody fighting for themselves to try and get to the big club?
No, absolutely. Everybody in AAA will play as a team, and the chemistry will be good because it's a lot of the same guys that are here.
Right.
And baseball's no fun if you're just playing for yourself. And when you play for your team, it's a better time. And and realistically, the more you gel as a team, the better you're going to play. Individually also. Sure. So it benefits everybody to get along with your teammates.
So a little about you. What do you do for fun? I mean, other than your job, which I'm sure is very fun. But how do you relax? You a movies guy, music guy, video
Yeah,
games?
yeah, movies.
Yeah.
I'm a movie buff.
Are you does that, you know where I'm going? Does that roll back a while? Are you more of a super current movie guy? Do you go back? Do you have a lot of, like, if I were Shawshank Redemption, for example, Godfather, stuff like that?
Yeah, any of it.
Okay.
I haven't got a chance to go to too many of the newer movies
Sure.
this spring. Been busy, but I catch up with what I can on Netflix. And it all started in college. I had a roommate who was a movie buff, and
Okay.
he just would throw on movies, and I started sitting down and watching them with him, and kind of became a habit I picked up.
Have you seen the movie True Romance? 1993. This is a thing with
unbelievable.
I just did
This
a
is
screening.
unbelievable.
I just did a screening for Joe, our engineer, last night. He's never seen it. 1993. Let's see: Val Kilmer, Patricia Arquette, Christian Slater, Dennis Hopper, Samuel L. Jackson, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken. So we're doing these informal polls. Have you seen the movie?
I have not.
Oh, come on!
Thank goodness.
No, not thank goodness. You haven't seen the movie.
Yeah,
Quentin
no.
Tarantino wrote the movie. All right, so maybe you can try to knock that out this year and the next year.
True Romance?
It's called True Romance, 1993. I'm telling you, it might be top 10 most underrated movie
Okay.
ever.
I'll make a point to
So
go
we have
find
this
it.
whole thing where I am not a movie person.
He's like never seen a
If you
movie.
name a classic movie, I've probably not seen it.
Godfather's nope.
None
Shawshank
of
Redemption
them.
nope.
Just recently watched The Rockies.
Goodwill
Like,
Hunting.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
right.
it's brutal.
Just
dude.
recently.
Really bad.
Like literally in the last 6 months, he just started watching the Rockies.
So we're making a list of movies and we're gonna do a whole thing with it. And he goes,
Good Will
True,
Hunting.
he goes,
Yeah.
True Romance, and I'm like, that's stupid. I've never even heard of this movie. Like, I'm not your little like cult classic. I'm not gonna go. Hey, relax up there.
He's seen it.
I'm not gonna waste my time watching this movie. But then I went and checked out the IMDb, and like you said, it's any big actor you can think of like made some kind of appearance in this movie. So.
I know you're on the spot here, but if you were dealing with somebody, let's say, whose movie library consists of like Coco and the
It's a
Lion
low
King,
movie IQ. I'll admit it. That's fine.
are there any movie or movies that jump out where you're like, you got to see this? I know that's like such
I
an
know.
on the spot question.
I mean, my all-time favorite movie is Toy Story. I have some sentimental
Very,
value to
very-
that one.
He's
Very,
seen that.
very strong choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
growing up to that one. So I have some sentimental value there to Toy Story.
Okay.
But man, I don't know. My favorite movie changes, on a
Sure.
rotation.
Yeah.
Mostly what I've seen most recently. I'm not a big movie rewatcher
Right.
because the whole point of the movie to me is to be in suspense, and if I know what's going to happen,
Right.
I'm not enjoying it that
I'm the
much.
same way.
So I'm not a rewatcher. So there's no movies that I've seen a dozen times. and
Right.
So I go home and brag about how many times I've seen it. But it'll change. I'll see another good movie here sometimes, and then
Put that at the top of
and
the
then
list.
I'll go to the top, and I'll move down eventually.
Do you watch more? Do you take in more Netflix during the season or during the off season?
During the season,
Really?
Hotel room.
hotel
Yeah.
rooms, bus rides. Off season, we stay busy.
Yeah.
And, there's stuff to do, family and
Sure.
friends and stuff, and people want to see and talk to you and hang out with you because you're never home.
2
So,
minutes.
Yeah, definitely in the season, a lot more Netflix.
So Disney's coming out with Disney. I love how we've just gone off baseball.
Yeah,
totally.
that's
that's
fine.
fine.
That's fine.
Disney's coming out with Disney Plus, and I guess they're putting their entire movie library plus all their Marvel and Star Wars and everything they own. It won't be as big as Netflix, but they also say
$25 a month.
no. They say it's going to be
I'll
less
pay
than
that.
Netflix. So is Disney Plus something you might add to your Netflix collection?
Probably not.
No,
Are you-
stick with Netflix, huh?
I'll stay with Netflix because I've seen most of these Disney
That's
movies
a
at
good
this
Are you
point.
Netflix only, or do you have like Hulu and
I have
HBO Go?
I have Hulu on
Are you
top
a
of that.
Game
yeah.
of Thrones guy?
I'm not a Game of Thrones guy. The thing is, I would love to see Game of Thrones. It's right up my alley. I know I'd like it, but
Yeah.
at this point, it's like 200 hours of TV that I have to commit to watching.
Yeah, but
And
it's
so,
really good.
I don't want to,
You don't want to make that commitment.
I don't want to make the commitment. It's a lot of TV.
That's fair.
Are you were you a Lord of the Rings, Star Wars? I mean,
Yes, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, not as much. I
Okay.
like them, but I don't get crazy about them like some people.
you probably
minute.
we got to wrap up, but I'm sure you get this all the time, and I don't want to be one of those people. I'm sure you get it all the freaking time, but I watched the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones when it came out, and then I quit because, spoiler alert, there's a lot of death in it, and it was bugging me, not from the death point of view, but people I liked. And then last year I went back and watched the whole thing, and I got to say, it's worth it. I know you've got other things to do, but if you got time in that hotel room, get that HBO Go.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
watch.
30 seconds.
You're not the first person to say that.
I probably like the millionth.
I have a buddy who texts me almost weekly.
Yeah.
Says, "Have you started it yet?" I'm like, "No, man.
It's
You relax."
Like, I'm
Now
not
it's to the
gonna do
point.
that.
It's to the point now where it's like I'm not watching it just because
Just
you want me to watch
defiantly.
it so much.
Yeah, exactly.
We appreciate your time. Have yourself a fantastic year, and as always, thanks for spending a little bit of
I
time.
appreciate
with us.
it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care. We will take a break. When we come back, we finish up here the final. What are we? Half hour, 15 minutes, something like that. 20 minutes of the show down here in Mesa, Arizona, right here on the Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.
You're listening to The Drive.